In today's video, I am so excited to share with you guys 4 incredibly easy, delicious, and healthy recipes that you can recreate at home using a rotisserie chicken. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jessica, and here on my channel, we focus on all things mom life, whether that's cooking, cleaning, homemaking, but everything we do in my space does have a bit of a healthy twist, as I'm a holistic nutritionist and a nutritional practitioner. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, I would love it if you would open up the description box down below and hit the big red subscribe button. We're getting started with a creamy leftover chicken and rice soup. So this is actually one of my favorite recipes to make with leftover turkey from Thanksgiving. And about a year ago, I decided, why don't I try this with a rotisserie chicken? And it turned out beautifully, especially where I live in Michigan. The season has definitely changed. We have had snow for the last couple of days. So putting together this warming, delicious, flavorful, nutrition-packed soup was an incredible recipe to have on hand, and sometimes I will even double it and put half in the freezer. But as you can see here, it's full of aromatics, things like leeks and garlic, and all of these incredible vegetables really bring everything together, so you don't want to skimp on these key ingredients. And because I'm a nutritionist, I love to go through all of the phytonutrients with you guys and walk you through my process as to why I add certain ingredients. Something like leeks, for example, has almost 59% of your daily value, recommended value of vitamin K. In addition to that, it is an extremely rich source of vitamin A, coming in at 33% of your daily value. And it's full of things like manganese, vitamin C, folate, vitamin B6, iron, magnesium, copper, calcium, potassium, and vitamin E. And that's just in the 2 cups of leeks that we're using. Leeks also protect against cancer. They have tons of prebiotic fiber in them, and things like garlic are antibacterial and antiviral, and in combination with carrots, it brings out extra vitamin C. So when I'm putting together recipes, of course I want everything to taste delicious, but I do my best to combine ingredients that I really know will get the best bang for your buck. And of course, because this is a creamy recipe, you're probably wondering what we're going to use to get the creamy element, and we're going to be using egg yolk. And when you add egg yolk to this recipe, it really brings out the rich source of choline, and using choline and vitamins from leeks is a wonderful way for your body to absorb it in the gut. And I know there was an attack on egg yolks a couple of years ago and eggs in general, but eggs and egg yolks mainly contain so many vitamins and minerals, vitamins A and D and E and K, and they're also a rich source of folate and vitamin B12. In addition to the aminos that they are packed to the brim with, they're an incredible source of omega-3s. So you can see I'm juicing 1 whole lemon here, and then I am going to be adding in our egg yolks, and I'm going to tamper these in very, very lightly with a little bit of the warm broth, and you don't want to cook them, so you're going to just whisk it together as quickly as you can and slowly add in the next egg yolk, and then pour that into the base of your soup. And as I mentioned earlier, I did previously first make this recipe with leftover turkey, but it works beautifully with chicken. So save this one for your day after Thanksgiving, because I'm telling you, it is a huge fan favorite. And as you can see, it's so simple to toss together. At the end, I just like to chop up some fresh dill, drizzle a little bit of olive oil, and even squeeze on a little bit more lemon juice. And this is a huge fan favorite.
Tonight I leave familiar for the great unknown. Got a couple broken arrows and my hair is grown since you saw me last, talking on an old flip phone.
This next recipe could not get any easier. It is a rotisserie chicken and frozen veggie stir fry. So as you can see here, I have a fresh rotisserie chicken, and with these recipes, you get 2 recipes out of each chicken. So I went back to Whole Foods twice when I was filming this video, and I was able to pull out 2 whole recipes from each chicken, which is incredible. And I did share this over on my Instagram that Whole Foods does have the chickens organic for $9, and then it's either on Monday or Tuesday they have them for $2 off, so you can get a whole organic chicken for $7, which is such an incredible value. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull apart the chicken here. I'm saving the legs and the wings because the kids love to eat those as is, and I'm pulling apart the breast and the dark meat, and I'm gonna finally chop that up and put it on the pan with a little bit of frozen veggies. And you can really use any frozen veggies that you have on hand. I just wanted to cook through one of the packs that we had from Costco. And then if I'm serving this to the kids, I like to do it with a little bit of quinoa or brown rice as the base, or if it's for myself and Kaya, I will go ahead and serve this over a little bit of salad, and I'll drizzle on some olive oil and rice wine vinegar or balsamic vinegar. But it really is as simple as can be. So I'm gonna just take this with a little bit of fresh aromatics like garlic, onion, or shallot. I like to use both or whatever I have on hand. Brown it really quickly just to kind of give it a little bit of crunch and extra flavor, and then you will add in your frozen veg. I've said this multiple times, but I feel like the lockdown really taught me that I had to be resourceful, and frozen vegetables was something that I really didn't use that frequently other than like frozen rice cauliflower. But I started exploring and purchasing a lot of frozen vegetables during that time, just so that I always had nutrient-dense foods on hand. And Whole Foods has so many incredible frozen foods. Likewise, so does Costco, and it really has challenged me. I know they're not as bright and beautiful and colorful, but it still is an excellent source of nutrition. And I have a whole video on my channel about frozen fruits and vegetables and the nutrition that they bring, and sometimes they bring even more nutrition than the fresh. So I will link that for you up in the cards for you to check out after today's video. Of course, this is a standard one that you see recreated with rotisserie chickens all the time, but we're gonna put a little extra spin on it, and that is chicken zoodle soup. You guys, this one is so yummy and such a fun play on this traditional recipe for your family. The kids love the shape of the zoodles, and of course, adding the zucchini adds even more nutrition to this recipe. You guys know how to throw together an aromatic, tasty, and delicious chicken noodle soup, but we're really gonna amp it up. We're gonna add 2 cups of diced onion, 2 cups of diced celery, 3 to 5 cloves of garlic, depending on their size for you, some sliced carrots, of course, our already cooked and pre-chopped rotisserie chicken, along with some things like fresh dried basil, oregano, and dried thyme. I really like to amp up the thyme in this recipe. That is one thing I don't like to skimp out on. We're gonna put all of this in the pan. We're gonna let it brown together, cook together. You know the drill. But then at the end, we're gonna zoodle our zucchini up and add that into the broth. I personally, because we like to eat it right away, I zoodle the noodles and put them in the bowl and pour the cooked broth on top of it and let them rest for 1 to 2 minutes, especially if you're serving this meal to young children. You know with soups that you always have to let them sit in the bowl to cool down. However, if you are serving it to adults and you're not worried about them getting a little bit mushy or the texture, you can definitely add it into the broth as well. I make it both ways and it's equally as delicious. But here's the thing with chicken noodle soup that I think most people don't realize, and why your grandmother always served it to you when you were sick. There is so many antiviral and antibacterial properties in this soup, and I have shared that multiple times on my channel. But the things, the carrots, the onions, the garlic, and the celery all provide nutrition-packed ingredients, and when you add them into a broth and you let them cook together for 20 to 40 minutes on the stovetop, that's when the magic really happens. In addition to all of the fresh herbs and spices like the thyme, the oregano, oil of oregano and fresh oregano has so many incredible antiviral and antibacterial benefits to it. So I think that people think these simplistic, easy recipes don't have as much nutrition as they really do. Then you guys know I talk about it frequently how much I love bone broth. I love to use the Trader Joe's chicken bone broth as the base, which is what I'm doing today. I also like to pull off some of the bones, and if I know I'm going to be cooking this on the stovetop and especially in the slow cooker or instant pot, I always throw the bones in and then just fish them out before serving it to the kids. Also, I like to take the chicken skin as well and put that in the pan. Here's the thing, the chicken skin is a rich source of collagen. So many of us are rushing out and buying collagen supplements and collagen powders to add into our coffees and into our foods, when in reality, we can get these things when we eat these animal parts in whole. And I know that it sounds gross and disgusting, but we need to think back to ancestral eating and how our ancestors ate things. They ate the entire animal. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have to do that, but at a bare minimum, throw the skin in and let that cook with your broth, and then you can fish it out prior to serving. As I mentioned earlier, I do like to use the Trader Joe's chicken bone broth to add into this because of the extra nutrition that it does provide. If you're not familiar with bone broth and all of the benefits, a few things that it helps with is it helps to treat leaky gut. It can actually help overcome food intolerances and allergies, and I know a lot of children are dealing with these things. In addition to improving joint health, it reduces cellulite, and mainly it boosts the overall immune system. And I know those of you who watch my channel and follow me on Instagram are probably sick of me using zucchini, but you really can't sleep on zucchini. It is such a high source of antioxidants and vitamin C. It really helps your body's glutathione own production, and it does provide a wonderful source of glutathione. The zucchini skin is really where you're going to get all of those antioxidants. In addition, I know all of us are concerned moving into cold and flu season with things that we can do to boost the immune system. And well, to be honest with you, in 2020, we're worried about those things. But zucchini is also such an incredible source of potassium, and it helps to improve digestion. So this whole recipe here that we're putting together today is really great source of antioxidants, vitamin C, and it really helps aid in digestion. And we know that 70% of our immunity lies within our gut. So adding this recipe to the rotation is definitely a must. I did go ahead and add in some chickpea noodles, just about a half a cup for the kids and to bulk up the recipe a little bit more. But as you can see, I'm adding the broth over the raw noodles, and I will let that sit for a minute or two before I serve it to the kids. It allows the noodles to cook a little bit and for the soup to cool down. And for our last recipe, we have a broccoli and chicken stir fry that uses fresh ginger and lime juice and is so delicious and packed with flavor. I love to add a lot of ginger, but you guys can always scale back from the recipe. And for all of the recipes that I'm sharing with you guys today, please be sure to open up the description box to grab all the exact measurements, ingredients, and assembly instructions. That way you can recreate these at home. And then I always love it when you check in and let me know which ones you're most excited to try. And better yet, come back to this video after you've given them a try and let me know what was your favorite. I'm using frozen broccoli here because, again, we're trying to keep things really simple and easy for those quick weeknight dinners, or to be honest with you, on the weekend if you're just trying to get a healthy lunch on the table. And then I'm going to be slicing up our chicken and adding that in after the broccoli has had a chance to soften. I do like to cover the frozen broccoli a bit to get it to cook faster, and then I lift off the lid to kind of give it that browning effect. And I know that when you cook with frozen vegetables, I mentioned this earlier in the video, you don't get quite that bright green color that you get with fresh, as it does wilt a little bit faster, but it does not change the flavor. If anything, it's just so easy to get dinner on the table that having frozen fruits and vegetables on hand for easy weeknight dinners is just a must for me. If you're a lover of soy sauce and you haven't tried coconut aminos, I highly encourage you to do so. Coconut aminos contain 17 naturally occurring amino acids, which is incredible, and have almost the perfect level of pH, yet low glycemic index. So in layman's terms, they're extremely healthy and easy for your body to absorb. They also have a high source of broad spectrum B vitamins, including inositol. In addition to that, there is so much less sodium in coconut aminos than in soy sauce. I think it's upwards around 300% less. They're delicious and definitely worth a try. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and if you liked this video, you can let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. It means a lot to me and to the YouTube algorithm. And now the subscribe button is right over here on the screen. Give that a click, that way you don't miss a single video, and I hope to see you back here next Thursday.